In an age obsessed with quick fixes and instant results, the desire to read people has become a popular pursuit. Whether for improving relationships, gaining social influence, or simply satisfying curiosity, countless online guides promise easy ways to decode others. From interpreting subtle body language cues to memorizing psychological hacks. Yet much of this advice is shallow and unreliable, offering little beyond fleeting impressions that fail to grasp the essence of a person. Friedrich Nietzsche, the profound 19th century philosopher, challenges us to look deeper. Instead of superficial tactics, he urges us to confront the fundamental drives, emotional wounds, and social masks that truly shape human behavior. For Nietzsche, people are not transparent puzzles to be solved by tricks, but complex beings motivated by layered psychological truths. If you want to genuinely understand others and yourself, you must abandon the chase for quick surface tactics. Instead, commit to a profound exploration of the hidden forces within people's minds and souls. This shift from shallow observation to deep insight is transformative.
Human behavior is often mysterious, contradictory, and complex. At times, we marvel at the actions of others. Some seem driven by kindness, others by ambition, and yet others by fear or despair. What propels these diverse behaviors? What invisible forces pull the strings of our decisions, shape our desires, and mold our identities? Friedrich Nietzsche, one of philosophy's most profound thinkers, pointed us toward the heart of this mystery by highlighting the fundamental drives that move us all. Unlike simplistic views that reduce humans to rational beings who act logically, Nietzsche revealed that beneath the surface lies a powerful will to power, a multifaceted drive that fuels not only domination, but creativity, self-expression, and survival. At first glance, many assume human behavior follows reason alone. We like to think we make decisions based on facts, ethics, or conscious desires. But Nietzsche argued, and modern psychology confirms, that much of what we do is driven by unconscious forces, deep-seated needs, fears, ambitions, and instincts. These drives are primal and often contradictory. For example, a person might simultaneously crave connection and fear vulnerability, seek freedom yet desire security, want recognition but dread exposure. The constant tension among these drives creates a dynamic inner world that shapes how we relate to ourselves and others. Nietzsche's famous concept, the will to power, is frequently misunderstood as mere lust for control over others. While it certainly includes that aspect, Nietzsche envisioned it more broadly as the fundamental impulse to assert oneself, to grow, to overcome obstacles, and to create. This drive can manifest as ambition to achieve personal goals, creative expression through art, science, or innovation, striving for mastery in skills or self-discipline, the desire to shape one's environment or social world. Importantly, the will to power is not inherently destructive or selfish. It can lead to greatness, beauty, and profound growth when channeled constructively. However, it also explains why power struggles, jealousy, and competition pervade human relationships, because these are raw expressions of the same drive. Modern psychology complements Nietzsche's insights with models of motivation that reveal the layers beneath human behavior. Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis described the unconscious mind as the battleground for primal drives, especially the id, basic impulses, versus the ego, conscious self, and superego, moral constraints. Freud emphasized sexual and aggressive drives, but acknowledged the complexity of human motivation. Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs presented a more structured view,
Humans progress from fulfilling basic physiological needs, food, safety, to psychological needs, love, esteem, and finally to self-actualization, the realization of one's fullest potential. Carl Jung introduced the concept of archetypes and the collective unconscious, suggesting that some drives are universal patterns that influence personality and behavior. Together, these perspectives illustrate that human drives operate on multiple levels, from survival instincts to complex quests for meaning. Understanding drives clarifies why people behave inconsistently or paradoxically. For example, consider someone who seeks approval in public but privately feels unworthy, pursues career success yet sacrifices personal relationships, acts generously yet harbors deep envy or resentment. These contradictions stem from competing drives pulling in different directions. Social norms and cultural expectations often suppress some drives while encouraging others, creating internal conflict. Furthermore, drives influence power dynamics. Leaders who understand their own will to power and that of others can navigate social hierarchies more effectively. Conversely, ignoring these drives can lead to misunderstanding, frustration, and conflict. To truly read people, you must attune yourself to the drives animating their behavior. Observe patterns. Notice what consistently motivates someone: ambition, connection, security, creativity. Look for conflicts. Identify where drives clash, creating stress or contradictory actions. Be mindful of context. Drives can be expressed differently depending on environment, culture, or relationships. Reflect on your own drives. Awareness of your motivations increases empathy and insight into others. Accepting that drives shape behavior is empowering. For personal growth, channel your will to power toward constructive goals, learning, creativity, self-mastery, rather than destructive dominance or envy. For relationships, understand that others' behaviors often stem from complex internal drives. Respond with patience and curiosity rather than judgment. For leadership, inspire and influence by appealing to shared drives, recognition, purpose, belonging, while managing conflicts that arise from competing needs. The drives that move us are neither simple nor purely selfish. They are powerful forces shaping the richness and contradictions of human life. Nietzsche's insight into the will to power invites us to embrace these drives honestly, neither denying them nor reducing human nature to surface behavior. By diving deeply into these hidden motivations, we gain a clearer understanding of ourselves and others, paving the way for authentic connection, meaningful growth, and a more compassionate view of the human experience. Beneath the surface of every person lies a history, written not only in achievements and joys, but also in pain, trauma, and unmet needs. These hidden wounds shape how we perceive the world, interact with others, and even how we see ourselves. Friedrich Nietzsche understood this deeply. To truly read a person, you must grasp the invisible scars that influence their behavior, often in ways they themselves do not fully realize. Psychological wounds are emotional injuries sustained through experiences of loss, rejection, failure, neglect, abuse, or trauma. Unlike physical wounds, these scars are invisible, but their impact is profound. They influence emotions, thoughts, defense mechanisms, and interpersonal relationships. These wounds do not simply disappear with time. Instead, they often linger beneath awareness, coloring perceptions and reactions unconsciously. A person carrying such wounds may develop coping strategies that protect them from further pain, but also limit authentic connection or growth. Nietzsche famously said, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger," highlighting the transformative potential of suffering. Yet he also recognized that unprocessed pain can imprison us in cycles of fear, resentment, or self-deception. Our wounds can fuel resilience, creativity, and compassion, turning suffering into strength. But they can also manifest as defensive behaviors, emotional withdrawal, or destructive patterns when left unexamined. Modern psychology helps us understand how early emotional wounds influence adult behavior. Attachment theory reveals how early relationships with caregivers form the blueprint for future connections. Secure attachments foster trust and openness, while insecure attachments, anxious, avoidant, or disorganized, can cause difficulties in intimacy and emotional regulation. Defense mechanisms are unconscious strategies people use to shield themselves from pain. Denial, projection, repression, or dissociation may protect temporarily, but can distort reality and hinder growth. Trauma responses may cause hypervigilance, emotional numbness, or repeated relational patterns. Without healing, trauma can trap individuals in a cycle of pain, repeating itself. Understanding wounds clarifies many puzzling behaviors. A person who seems overly controlling might be trying to compensate for a past loss of control. Someone who avoids intimacy may fear rejection rooted in early abandonment. A tendency to criticize others harshly could be a projection of internal self-criticism born from childhood neglect. These wounds shape the masks people wear and the drives that push them, intertwining deeply with the other forces Nietzsche described. To truly read others and ourselves, we must cultivate empathy for these hidden wounds. This requires patience. Recognize that behavior is often a protective response rather than a simple choice. Curiosity. Gently explore motivations without judgment. Humility. Accept that everyone carries pain, including ourselves. Boundaries. Compassion does not mean tolerating harm. Understanding wounds helps maintain healthy limits. Nietzsche's vision was not merely to expose wounds, but to transform through them. Healing requires acknowledging pain, seeking connection, and sometimes professional help. It involves facing uncomfortable truths and developing self-awareness. Growth emerges when wounds become sources of insight and strength rather than chains. This process deepens self-knowledge and enriches relationships with others. In relationships, approach others with empathy, recognizing their pain may underlie difficult behavior. In self-reflection, identify your own wounds and how they influence your choices and emotions. In conflict, consider that resistance or aggression may be rooted in fear or past trauma. In compassion, balance understanding with self-care, avoiding codependency. The wounds we carry are an essential part of our humanity. Nietzsche's insight urges us to look beneath surface behavior and see the silent struggles shaping each person's story. Recognizing these hidden scars allows for deeper connection, compassion, and personal transformation. By embracing our own wounds and those of others with courage and empathy, we step closer to genuine understanding and a fuller experience of life's richness. In every interaction, people present versions of themselves carefully crafted to fit social expectations, protect vulnerabilities, or achieve certain goals. Friedrich Nietzsche recognized this fundamental aspect of human nature, describing the persona as a mask we wear to navigate the world. To truly understand others and ourselves, we must learn to see beyond these masks and uncover the authentic self beneath. From childhood, humans learn that certain behaviors and appearances elicit acceptance, safety, or success. To meet these social demands, we develop masks, roles, or facades that may differ vastly from our inner reality. These masks are not necessarily deceitful, rather, they are survival tools. Examples include the confident professional who masks insecurity, the agreeable friend who hides anger or frustration, the charismatic leader who conceals doubts and fears. Masks allow us to function socially, protecting fragile parts of ourselves from judgment or harm. They help manage impressions, maintain relationships, and achieve social goals. Nietzsche drew from earlier psychological ideas but gave them a philosophical depth. The persona is not just a superficial disguise, but a complex interface between the individual and society. It mediates between inner drives, wounds, and external demands. He suggested that an overly rigid or false persona leads to alienation, where one feels disconnected from their true self. Conversely, too little masking can expose vulnerabilities that may overwhelm or isolate the individual. Sociologist Irving Goffman famously compared social interaction to theatrical performance. Each person plays multiple roles, adapting masks depending on context and audience. This performance is dynamic. We shift masks between family, work, friends, and strangers. We modulate expressions, language, and behavior to fit expectations. We reveal or conceal parts of ourselves strategically. Recognizing this performance helps us avoid taking appearances at face value and remain aware of the complexity beneath social interactions. While masks serve important functions, they can also trap us. Living behind a mask can cause internal conflict and self-alienation. Masks may prevent genuine connection, leading to loneliness despite social success. The effort to maintain masks can drain emotional energy and authenticity.
Some people become so identified with their masks that they lose touch with their true feelings, needs, and desires. This can lead to existential dissatisfaction or crisis. To read people beyond their masks, observe inconsistencies, moments when words don't align with tone or body language, microexpressions, brief involuntary facial expressions that reveal true emotions, reactions in safe contexts, how someone behaves when relaxed or unguarded, repetition, patterns that show which mask predominates. Developing this skill requires patience, empathy, and humility, recognizing that everyone must wear masks to some extent. Nietzsche championed the integration of self, where awareness of drives, wounds, and masks allows one to live authentically. This does not mean discarding masks altogether, but choosing them consciously. Authenticity involves embracing vulnerability while maintaining social functionality, aligning actions with core values despite external pressures, continuously reflecting on which masks serve growth and which hinder it. This balance fosters psychological health and deeper relationships. In relationships, look for moments of genuine openness amid social performance. Encourage safe spaces for authenticity. In self-reflection, identify your own masks and their purposes. Experiment with revealing more of your true self gradually. In leadership, understand the masks others wear and cultivate trust that allows them to lower defenses. In social settings, be mindful of your own social performances and the freedom to adjust them intentionally. The masks we wear are essential to human social life, but they are only part of the story. Nietzsche's insight challenges us to recognize these facades and gently peel them back to encounter the rich, sometimes messy, authentic selves beneath. By learning to read and respect masks, without mistaking them for the whole person, we open the door to empathy, connection, and self-discovery, a vital step toward truly seeing others and ourselves.
In a world obsessed with quick fixes and instant insights, advice on how to read people often boils down to simple, surface-level tactics. Interpreting a smile, noticing crossed arms, or spotting fleeting gestures. While these methods offer some clues, they are usually insufficient and often misleading. Friedrich Nietzsche's profound philosophy encourages us to move beyond such superficial shortcuts and engage with the deeper, complex psychological truths that truly shape human behavior. Common body language hacks promise the ability to decode emotions or intentions instantly, but human behavior is context-dependent, contradictory, and layered with meaning. For example, A smile can signal friendliness, nervousness, politeness, or even masking discomfort. Crossed arms might indicate defensiveness, coldness, or simply a comfortable resting posture. Avoiding eye contact could mean shyness, disrespect, or cultural norms. Relying on these signals alone risks oversimplification and misinterpretation. Nietzsche urges us to recognize that humans are not transparent objects, but living beings shaped by unconscious drives, emotional wounds, and social masks. These factors intertwine in complex ways that surface tactics cannot unravel. To truly understand a person requires patience, observation over time, and a willingness to grapple with ambiguity and contradiction. Moving beyond surface tactics means learning to read the underlying drives, what motivates a person's behavior at a fundamental level: ambition, fear, love, or power. Wounds. What past pains or traumas influence their current responses and defenses? Masks. What social roles or facades are they using, and why? Understanding these dimensions helps us see beyond fleeting signals to the essence of the person. Single behaviors rarely tell the whole story. Instead, look for patterns. How does the person behave across different situations? What consistent themes emerge in their communication? How do their actions align or conflict with their words? Context. The cultural background, personal history, current environment shapes meaning profoundly. Deep understanding requires emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize and regulate one's own emotions while perceiving and empathizing with others. This skill enables greater tolerance for ambiguity and complexity, more nuanced interpretations of behavior, enhanced connection through empathy rather than judgment. Practice active listening. Focus fully on the person's words and emotions, suspending premature conclusions. Ask open-ended questions. Encourage others to share their inner experiences and perspectives. Be patient. Allow relationships and understanding to develop over time. Reflect on your biases. Notice how your own assumptions color your interpretations. Observe nonverbal cues as part of a whole. Combine body language with verbal content and context. Though more challenging, moving beyond surface tactics offers profound benefits. Deeper, more authentic relationships, reduced misunderstandings and conflicts, increased self-awareness and personal growth, a richer, more compassionate view of human nature. Nietzsche's brutal truths remind us that reading people is not a skill of quick hacks, but an art of deep engagement. It demands humility, patience, and a willingness to embrace complexity and imperfection. By moving beyond surface tactics and exploring the drives, wounds, and masks that shape us, we open the door to genuine understanding, both of others and ourselves, a journey that enriches life far beyond any quick trick. To truly understand people, whether others or ourselves, is to accept that human nature is far more intricate than quick judgments or surface observations allow. Nietzsche's profound insights guide us to look beyond fleeting gestures and easy labels, urging us to explore the deep drives that motivate us, the hidden wounds that shape us, the masks we wear to navigate the world, and the limitations of shallow tactics. This journey is not simple or swift. It requires patience, empathy, and the courage to face uncomfortable truths about vulnerability, ambition, and imperfection. But in embracing this complexity, we gain something invaluable: authentic connection, self-awareness, and a richer experience of life. So next time you seek to read someone, remember that beneath every action lies a story, a tapestry of inner forces that, when understood, can transform relationships and deepen your own growth. This is the art of truly seeing, a lifelong practice worth pursuing. If you found this exploration valuable and want more insights that challenge how you see yourself and others, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a video. Together, let's keep uncovering the deeper truths of human nature, one video at a time.